first wave that was implied was the suffragist movement. And I personally felt my roots, of course, being a historian, maybe it was that, but I felt my identity with the abolitionist movement, because this is where the Grimke sisters and Harriet Tubman, and the women in the abolitionist movement who were not allowed to speak in public. They could not speak in public. In Faneuil Hall in Boston, they had police come and arrest the women who were speaking there. So the men, I mean, Frederick Douglass became, William Lloyd Garrison became very pro-feminist propagandists. And after Frederick Douglass became a widow after the Civil War, he married a feminist, a very strong feminist, a white feminist. So they were very closely entwined, and I saw that as what we should go back to and build our strand, and not to ignore the suffragist movement, but really look at that it rose in Jim Crow, and there was, women getting the vote. A part of it was appealing to Southern senators that, well, you don't have to worry about enfranchisement of black women because they're held down. It will be the white women, and we'll even help keep Jim Crow in place, because it's in our interests. And so I don't identify with that, part of it. And it's not that there weren't other things going on and radical, but it could at least be called the second wave, and the other one be considered the first wave. And then we would have been the third wave if we're going to do this wave thing. But I think that's, kind of deceptive too, because history doesn't exactly work like that. And there's so many women's history. I don't specialize in women's history. I do indigenous history, but I read, and appreciate the history that's being done. And women's histories, as we developed it, there's always been, women's resistance and threads of feminism, very conscious threads of feminism in all eras. So we need to see more of a continuity, I think, and then these outbursts of resistance that rise up. Intersectionality is a concept, I guess, in probably about the mid-90s, wasn't it, to early 90s, maybe mid-90s, that we were all saying it before, there just wasn't a word to describe that you can't unbundle class, race, and gender, that they're, bundled together, that, and also the question of privilege, that there are different levels of privilege, and so I think some of the work that's I'm a historian, so I kind of see it more as a kind of sociological construct, and I sort of shy away from that because I don't like things reduced to just either numbers or just terms like that. And what gets left out, and I think, is class. I think class almost so, and also they're not the same thing. They all have different histories. Those three things. So it's sort of putting them on even though it's a kind of a triangle. It's also as if they have the same genealogy, and they each come. So I think without that richness of taking apart each one, and then the consciousness, and I think just using the terminology or making sure that the panel you develop has the representation of intersectionality. It's sort of a mechanical. I think that's better than not doing it, but I think we need to go deeper, and that class is something that is. It seems like people would rather talk about anything except class in this country, or even use the term. So it's okay to say imperialism now, but class, you have to say poor, and not working class, because the working class has always included the unemployed. And instead you have to create this poverty narrative, you know, for sort of blaming, you know, there's something culturally wrong with these people who just can't quite make it in a capitalist society, and how to raise them up, you know. And so everything is taken out of a class context. And so in that sense, I'm glad it's there, but I don't think it really is ever truly included in anything that calls itself intersexuality, either the analysis or, you know, actions. I would like to be proven wrong about that, but I'm not sure. Hester, do you have something to say?
Yeah, I was going to ask you,